How's it going, everyone? Jeff Johnson, Jeff Linder, here to my right. We are here to call it both ways, as usual. Special playoff edition, right? We are deep into it, as they say. We are deep in it.
You can say that.
Jeff and the girls' side is already the state tournament field has been determined, and the boys are in the district. Let's see. Get my words right. The district
right.
final / substate semifinal level tonight.
Why
can't they
need
just
to
all
conform that?
Yes, absolutely. And the girls don't have any of that. It's regionals and sub-regionals and all that kind of stuff.
It's just regionals.
Just regionals?
Yep. Regional first round, regional quarterfinals, regional semifinals, regional finals.
And, really, it's not even regions from the girls' side because there are some games where it's... I can't, what was the farthest distance that you saw from?
Well, I think, take away 5A, North Lynn and Van Meter playing in the regional final at Marshalltown.
Okay.
I suppose that's probably right up there.
Not exactly in the same region as far as I'm concerned.
The closest team for North Lynn was their first game. That was against East Marshall, and that was about 80 miles.
Okay, but they made it.
They made it.
So
they made it easily.
And, on the boys' side, for that matter, too, Forest City in the substate final. So that's cray-cray.
That's against who?
Northland.
Okay,
Northland and Forest City, yeah,
okay.
Which is kind of a unique deal, but we'll get into a little bit.
Forest City is what, northwest of Mason City?
Yes. So, but it's at Cedar Falls, so...
it's still a long ways for Forest City.
Yes, very much so. And that's kind of an interesting deal because that's where the coach's Hilmer...
Okay.
Came from. Mike played there, obviously, won a state championship for his dad. And Bob left, I believe, 18 years ago, left Forest City, and
for Waco.
His sophomore coach was the one that took over for him, and he's still the coach at Forest City. So.
And then Bob coached at Esterville, is that right?
Bob was at Waco.
No, I'm sorry, Mike. Was Mike at Esterville?
Mike was at, Lincoln. Yeah, Lincoln Central first.
Okay.
And then Esterville.
Okay, and because Brian Wheatley was from Esterville, I believe, and followed Mike to North Lynn. So.
It's all this big familial thing. So I've never been to Esterville, home of the midgets.
Home of the midgets.
You have, but Nathan says he has. Is it a small town?
No.
No?
Well, not to me, but yeah, probably to
Okay.
you.
All right. I know Lincoln Central, Groover, right?
Yes. Not Grover, not from Sesame Street.
Groover, yes. They're in part of Esterville now. So let's quit with the inane chit-chat and start
That's all we
talking.
do.
That's true. That's
what we do best.
That's true. So, that's our go-to move, right? So, let's talk about the girls' state tournament, which starts Monday. And my goodness, first of all, I look at the forecast Sunday. It's supposed to be like 60-some degrees.
60.
So much with that whole snowstorm during the girls' state tournament thing. But you've got all 40 teams determined, and fire away.
9 of them are from our area.
All right.
Including 2 of them playing each other right away at 10 o'clock Monday morning in Cedar Rapids Prairie and Iowa City High. Rematch from a game played probably about 3 weeks ago, won convincingly by City High. That was a game they just didn't miss. So, Prairie's first appearance, I believe, since 2006. So they get going at 10 o'clock, and then kind of a fringe team for us. Jessup plays in a 3A first-round game at 5 o'clock against NICL rival Dyke New Hartford. Then we got a busy day Tuesday, 4A semi-quarters, Clear Creek Amana against North Scott. We'll get back to Clear Creek in a little bit, I'm sure. Center Point Urbana against Waverly. They played earlier this year. CPU won a close one. Then 2A first-rounders later that night, 6:45 and 8:30. Cascade plays Denver. West Branch plays Osage. Wednesday, the last 2A quarter, Northland plays Western Christian. And then in a 1A game at 3:15, Montezuma plays St. Ansgar. And then semis Thursday and most of Friday, championships 5A, 3A at 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock on Friday, and then 4A, 2A, 1A at 3, 5, and 7 on Saturday.
And if you need any of that repeated, thegazette.com is the place to go. All the brackets and everything are up there. So,
or you could just replay it and play it a little slower.
Yes, you could do that too. Keep hitting the pause button after he says like the first couple of games or something. You can write it down and go from there. So
I'm sure we've got brackets up.
So the biggest surprise team, regardless of if they're in our area or not, to get in was
Sioux City East. Yeah, knocked off West Des Moines Dowling. And Caitlin Clark, 67-63 at Dowling, and that was a shocker. I mean, Marion Clear Creek Amana was a big surprise, but Sioux City East going to Dowling and winning that one was stunning.
What's Sioux City East's record?
I want to say 16-7, something like that.
It's not awful, but
no,
still.
They're not awful. They were kind of at the bottom of the rankings most of the year. Quality team, but sure didn't think the caliber of Dowling coming in, but the Black Raiders certainly had other thoughts. And yes, 16-7, and now they get to go play number 1 Waukee in the first round.
All right, so let's talk about Marion and Clear Creek Amana. That was another game that really nobody saw coming.
Nope. They probably did, because they came out and played like they thought they were going to win the game. They were fearless, nothing to lose, and played terrific basketball. And Marion played tight, and if they play 10 times, Marion probably wins 7 or 8. But Clear Creek Amana was by far the better team.
And the
Tuesday
spread
night.
showed that.
Yeah.
This was not a fluke.
No, not on this night.
Not a fluke. So, first appearance for Clear Creek?
First time. It's not just a softball school anymore.
I guess.
The volleyball team's pretty good. Track's pretty good. Basketball has come a long ways. And kudos to P.J. Sweeney. He came there about 6 or 7 years ago, and the program was a little bit of a mess. And he, gradually turned it around, and look where they are now. Carson Stratton's a really nice basketball player.
All right, here's my big question.
Okay.
On the brackets, is Clear Creek Amana hyphenated?
On the brackets, I'm sure it is. It is.
And it is in the boys' brackets as well.
So
put the hyphen in your name, for crying out loud.
There's
Clear
a stray
Creek
one floating around from Northland.
That nobody ever really just grabbed hold of.
They need to wedge that in there. So hyphenate yourself.
We kid, kind of.
No, not really.
All right, let's shoot over to the boys just briefly, and then we'll meander back to the state tournament and some of the other classes. Tonight, this is Thursday, we've got Class 3A substate semifinals around the state, around the area, and Class 1A district finals. And our area, we've got, as I do a quick count here, 5 games in 1A and 6 in 3A. So we will be at Center Point Urbana tonight, CPU and Decorah, and what should be a really good basketball game. Was out there the other night to watch both those teams play. Good basketball teams. I think pretty even basketball teams, both very experienced basketball teams. So looking forward to a good game there. And then Nathan's going to head out to Marion to watch the Indians, 18-4, take on Waverly Shell Rock, 12-9. I asked him, by the way, if he could cover a game, and he said yeah. And I said, well, here's your choices. You want to go see Decorah, or you want to go see Waverly? And he said, he's a Waverly guy. So of course, well, not really. He went to college at Waverly, but anything that has to do with Luther, you get that whole.
Mm-hmm. I get that.
That whole thing. So
took me a while, but I got it.
Yeah, I kind of went a long way around trying to explain that one, but. So anyway, he's going to help us out and watch and cover Waverly and Marion. Elsewhere, Cedar Rapids Xavier is at DeWitt Central. Dubuque Wahlert at Mount Vernon, Keokuk at Clear Creek Amana, and Mount Pleasant takes on Davenport Assumption. Actually, that one's not in the area. And Class 1A district finals tonight. We've got Edco against Easton Valley, Meskwaki Settlement School against West Fork, Montezuma against Keota for the third time this season, Springville against Highland, and that'll be at Iowa City West, and Turkey Valley against Janesville. So those are tonight's Thursday night's games.
Substate
Substate
West
/
Fork could be a
district.
pretty good haul.
That is at Parkersburg.
Okay,
So
not bad.
no, great season for Meskwaki, 18-4, and lost the last 2 games of the regular season, but have kind of rebounded. It'll be a tall task. West Fork's a really good basketball team that plays.
Squawky's girls are generally pretty decent.
Are they?
Pretty good, yeah.
So let's call it back over to the girls' way. First of all, why do they play the 5A games right away on Monday? Is there a theory behind that?
I think they've moved. No,
Is that just
I don't
tradition
know.
from
no,
six
it's
on
new.
6 days?
When they went to 5, not long after they went to 5 classes, they flip-flopped everything. And the answer is I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
How's that?
But they just go right on down the line, right?
No, they go 5A to 3A to 4A to 2A to 1A, and I don't know why.
Seems kind of convoluted, but hey,
Yeah,
whatever.
Why not? Why not?
Why not? Why ask why?
Yeah,
So, you mentioned Prairie. That's a nice story. That
it is.
Sid and Mel,
Sid and
Mel Sid,
Yep. And
McCray and McDermott.
yeah, McBuckets. And,
McBuckets.
They've really stepped up this year. The two of them, they average about 40 points a game between them, and great careers, but just really, really good senior seasons for both of them. They've really carried this team, and the supporting cast has gotten quite a bit better as the season's gone, and they're not going to lose to City High by 32 again. I don't know if they can win, but they're going to be competitive, and because those two are they're gamers.
All right, man. I'm going to put you on the spot. Jeff Linder's picks.
Well, are we
Go.
going to spoil? Are we going to do spoilers, or are we going to wait until it comes out?
Can we do a little tease, maybe?
All right, I'll just say this: I'm going with all the teams that I started number 1 this season to win it.
All right, you're going to have to research that at thegazette.com to figure that out. So there you go. The most interesting class to you is which?
5A is interesting. I think there's probably 4 or 5 teams that could win that. I think 4A is going to be competitive, and it's going to be a lot different without Marion, but there's still some star power there with North Scott, and CPU's the 3A champion from last year. Glenwood and Ballard, we don't know much about over in this area, but I think from what I've heard, both are very, very good, and Glenwood's extremely young. 2A, good class. Cascade, West Hancock, Northland have kind of been 1, 2, 3 all season. West Branch might be a dark horse. Western Christian's a 6 seed, and they're dangerous. I think everybody's chasing Newell Fonda in 1A. They're number 1 and the defending champ, and really, really good, and they're young. So before everybody flips out thinking there are 6 parochial schools in 1A. There's just
clear
4,
this up for us.
because Martinsdale St. Mary's is not parochial. That's a public school. St. Ansgar obviously is a public school. So there's still 4, but don't flip out too much about it.
St. Mary's and St. Ansgar are actually towns.
Yeah,
folks.
and there's no apostrophe in St. Mary's.
There isn't.
There is no apostrophe in St. Mary's.
Well, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, that's.
But there is a hyphen
But there's a hyphen.
between Martinsdale and St. Mary's.
Yes.
And that is west of Des Moines, correct?
Southeast of Des Moines.
Southeast of Des Moines.
More,
Not even
more
close,
south.
folks. Not even close.
I think it's kind of south of Indianola. Is that about right? Southeast Warren area, kind of
Always known for baseball.
baseball. Yeah.
Big time baseball.
And
school.
they've been good at girls sports lately. They won a girls state title in basketball, maybe 2. Softball's always good. So it's a pretty good sports school.
Let's meander over to the boys' side here real quick. Friday night, we've got just Class 4A playing substate semifinals, and we got a bunch of teams from Cedar Rapids and Iowa City playing, and none of them are playing each other. So Jefferson's at Waterloo West coming off a last-second overtime win on a 3-pointer to beat Waterloo East in the first round. Cedar Rapids Kennedy at North Scott. That'll be interesting to see if the Cougars can beat a really good team. They've been competitive against the really good teams in the MVC this season, on their schedule, but just haven't beaten one yet. Davenport North's at Cedar Rapids Prairie. That's I think that'll be Friday night. North 14-8, Prairie's 14-7. City High is at Dubuque Senior. Iowa City Liberty, which won its first round game, is at Dubuque Hempstead. Linmar's at Cedar Falls. Ottumwa at Iowa City West. So there's your 4A schedule for Friday, and then Saturday we will find our first 16 teams who will make it to the state tournament.
1A, 2A?
Class 1A and 2A substate finals. We don't know, of course, the 1A substate matchups yet. We'll have to wait till tonight to find that out, but we do have 4 area schools actually involved in 2A substate finals. We've got Dyersville Beckman against Monticello at Manchester. Comanche against West Burlington. Actually, that's not really quite technically in our area. At Muscatine, and then North Lynn, as we mentioned, 23-0 against Forest City, 16-7 at Cedar Falls, and then not really too many big surprises so far throughout this whole thing. I think
They're coming.
There were a couple of one seeds that kind of dropped by the wayside here, but nothing that would be like totally outrageous, I don't think. So, fun time of year, man. Fun time of year.
It is, and this is why you play. This is why we do what we do. Is this time of the year is really good. And I wrote it last night. There's nothing like a regional final, small school regional final, or small school sub-state final. Agree?
Yeah, but that's the biggest pressure game, everybody says, right?
I think so.
To get to the state tournament. Once you're there, it's kind of a bonus, unless you're a big, heavy favorite or something like that.
Right.
But, yeah, man, I tell you what, Monday night, Monday night, I can't even tell you the days this week, but Decorah traveled a ton of people to Center Point, filled up almost their entire section of the bleachers.
So they'll bring a lot tonight then?
Yeah, you would think so. And that's, as we know, not an easy drive. So, but yeah, that just goes to show your point that this is the big, the big time, the best time of year.
Yeah, I was up at West Union Friday for a regional semifinal between Elkader Central and Turkey Valley, and they both filled their sides of the gym. And it's not a small gym, it's not a huge gym, but it seats about 600 on each side. Yeah, so for Elkader and for Turkey Valley to fill that thing, that was terrific. Have you ever been to the gym at West Union?
I have not. Covered a football game there once, but
I've covered a couple football games, but yeah, it's a nice facility.
I was trying to think. It's been a long time, man. When I was a little kid, I used to go to the Fayette County Fair a lot. We had uncles and aunts and relatives that lived up that way, but haven't spent a lot of time in West Union or Fayette, or who else is part of that? Elgin, former Valley of Elgin,
Wadena.
Claremont. There you go, Wadena. Home of a 70s rock festival. I bet Nathan didn't know that, did you? No. It was Iowa. It was Woodstock, Iowa style.
Oh boy,
that's true. It's a true story. So, on the girls' side,
all conference stuff has come up.
Okay,
that we had all that in the paper today. MVC, WAMAC, River Valley has come out. Still waiting on Tri Rivers. Northeast Iowa is out. So.
What's the Hall of Fame members? Do you remember any of the Hall of Fame members? I don't remember the boys either, and I saw the list too. So. That's always fun to see.
Sometimes bump into somebody you used to cover, and that's always kind of neat.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd rather be at a gym than at some big banquet with some big speaker someplace. So, wouldn't you? Or a field or a diamond.
Yep, I know where you're going. Yep, so, I would.
Let's talk about the Iowa women.
They play tonight. Last home game, regular season home game for Kathleen Doyle, Amanda Olinger, Mackenzie Meyer, and Paula Valino Ramos, who is stopping after 3 years. She's graduating in 3 years with a biochemistry degree.
Oh, my word.
Yeah.
She's good for the team GPA.
Yeah. And this is the winningest senior class that Lisa Bluter has had.
Is that right?
Yep.
Would you have guessed that when they first came in as freshmen?
No, especially when they went 20-14 their first year and went to the WNIT.
Was it a ballyhooed class at all?
Not necessarily.
You
I
don't
don't.
like
I
the
don't
one
think
coming
so.
up?
No, I don't. I don't recall that it was. Kathleen Doyle was kind of a late addition. She was gonna. She had committed to Nebraska, and she changed her mind when there was a coaching change there. Connie Ori was. I think she resigned. So she decommitted, committed to Iowa, and the rest there is history. Amanda Olinger has really had a nice senior year after 3 fairly quiet seasons there. Mackenzie Meyer has been a really good outside shooter for them. So, and they've been the beneficiaries of some pretty good classes on either side of them as well.
The ARC conference tournament, I believe, has started as well on the men's and women's side.
Okay.
I don't know much about it.
No.
Do you know much about it?
No.
I assume Wartburg's probably number 1 seed in both, right?
Just women.
Just women. Okay. Fair assumption.
Wartburg at Co men's tonight.
Oh, there you go. Wartburg at Co. If you're out and about looking for something to do. So, wanted to give a quick shout out on the boys' side to Nick Reed of Central City. The stats were officially or declared official from Central City's loss to Edco the other night. That ended his brilliant career, and he did hit the big mark. Finished with 2,016 points and 1,001 rebounds in his career.
And you call that a double quadruple?
That is something, and just the eighth player in state history to achieve 2,000 and 1,000. So good for him. I know he'd much rather be playing basketball tonight than worry about anything like that, but that's a hell of an accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
So heading to Emporia State in Kansas, and we'll see how he does if he gets a chance to play right away. We'll see, but yeah, what a great career for Nick Reed, and a good kid, and that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, really nice career.
anything else you want to talk about? I saw Marquee Network for the first time yesterday.
How was it?
It was good. It might be
Really?
the best network I've ever seen.
No, really, how was it?
It was spring training baseball.
Yeah.
It didn't look any different than it did when it was on, MSNBC Chicago or whatever it is.
One last thing on the girls' side, kind of a quirky thing last night at Pleasant Valley, 1A regional final, Bellevue Marquette and Burlington Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah. I heard about this.
Marquette was called for 3 fouls, Notre Dame for 20, and the free throw margin as far as attempts was 28-0.
So you're saying that
I'm
these
not saying-
officials
I-
did not
no,
call it both
they
ways?
did not. They did not call it both ways. I'm not saying anything because I wasn't there. I didn't see it. Some people are hopping mad about it, and like I said, I didn't see it. I'm just pointing it out.
That's a good note to end on, considering the name of our show.
All right, we'll do that.
Not saying anything about officials, because they do a great job. You do a great job, officials. We know we have a big officials
Shortage.
viewing. They all view our show, right? So
I'm sure that all of them.
anyway, at JT Linder, what's your feature gonna be on leading into the tournament?
I'm gonna go talk to McRae and McDermott. So
Mac squared.
Yep, we'll have that.
McBuckets.
We'll have that in Monday's paper with all my other fun stuff and
Predictions that we're gonna hold you to.
Go for it. And stat leaders and Monday's capsules, and that's where we go. And then the games start.
Ask Sydney how long it's been since she started wearing a headband. I'm just curious. I don't know.
I will ask that. I will ask her about her headband.
Yeah.
Because her
it's her
logo's
signature.
a little bit off
But
center.
I'm sure
usually.
that's intentional too. so.
Probably. We'll talk about that.
At JEJE66 for my Twitter handle, we got all kinds of good stuff coming up here in the next few days as the boys determine their state tournament field. And at Nathan T. Ford, he's going to help out here in the next 2-3 days with some games, which is much appreciated. So hit him up on Twitter as well.
And another assignment for Nathan is to get student section bingo up and going.
Okay, yes, I want to see that. I want to see that.
We're getting a nod over there.
He's got it.
All right.
He's got the fist pump
got
going and everything.
24
so.
squares to fill.
Absolutely. So, thanks for joining us. Hopefully, you enjoyed us calling it both ways again this week. And I guess we won't see you next week. Jeff will be in Des Moines, but we'll recap the season here at some point as we go along, and look forward to the spring. So, thanks for joining us, folks. Take care.